Welcome back, everybody, to the Bucks Planet podcast for the second and final installment of How to Beat the Chiefs. And today, as promised in the last video, we're going to talk about the defensive strategy for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat the Chiefs. And this is what's going to come down to. It's going to be very difficult. The Chiefs are slightly unfair of an offense to defend against. I watched the Chiefs Bucks game from week 12. I watched that about 8 times at this point this week. I've watched it so many times. I pretty much know every play that happens. And I know how we could potentially, so you're not going to stop the Chiefs. Obviously, you're not going to stop them. But you can slow them down enough to where you can at least put your offense on the field to win the game. There's a lot of things that need to happen here. And let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that the Bucks need to do is they cannot leave Carlton Davis on an island with Tyreek Hill or really any of their receivers because all the receivers are very fast. And again, this does not match up with Carlton Davis's skill set. Carlton Davis is not he's not good against speed. He's not the fastest corner. He's very good against receivers that rely on route running, like a Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams kind of guy. Guys like Tyreek Hill, Demarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins, those guys will kill Carlton Davis. It's a very bad matchup for him. And with that being said, we need to make sure that we always have 2 safeties over the top. Always. Because one safety over the top, that's way too much field to cover, right? And Davis will most likely get burned a few times in this game, and he needs to get bailed out by a safety. I mean, last time, you remember what happened last time? We showed up in that cover 1 crap. Gave up 200 yards, 2 touchdowns to Tyreek Hill in the first quarter. The first quarter. All of them, Carlton Davis, too, for the most part. He just can't run with them. And to be fair, no one can really run with them. But at the same time, you need to be able to slow them down. And the way I would honestly go about doing this is I would double team Tyreek Hill and I would double team Travis Kelce. And I know that means that the rest, if we're in man, and the rest I know that would mean one-on-ones, but I would rather, if Demarcus Robinson or those guys beat us, I would rather to see that than to see Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce kill us because they will. I think if you only limit it to them relying on Sammy Watkins and Demarcus Robinson, I think you have a lot better chance to win. I think they'll still score, but I don't think they're going to score as many points or as fast. So I think that's going to be a key. So again, I personally would only show up in cover 2 and man coverage. I would double team Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Because the problem with the Chiefs is the reason why they're so good is Tyreek Hill is impossible to cover in man coverage, unguardable because of how fast he is, unless you're doubling him. And then Travis Kelce is impossible to cover in zone. And we saw in the last game, so when the Bucs switched to zone, then Travis Kelce was killing us all the way up and down the field. And then when we were in man, Tyreek Hill had 200 yards. So that's why they're so good, because their weapons just correspond to every defense. Oh, you line up in this, well, we're going to use this. Or you line up in this, we're going to do this. It's so annoying. It's honestly unfair. And then you have Patrick Mahomes, just the most unfair player of literally all time. This one is going to be tough. So yeah, you have to make sure you have to have 2 safeties. I mean, that's honestly the big takeaway of this. There's, when we showed up, we only held the Chiefs to 3 points for 3 quarters. 3 quarters held them to 3 points after the first quarter. So quarters 2 through 4 held them to 3 points. The Chiefs, the problem with them too is they just run so much confusing stuff. I mean, it's even hard for me to keep up. It's hard for me to keep up, and I'm the Bucks guy. I keep up with things. I can barely keep up with this. They run RPO, play action. They have like 300 different zone beaters. You can't run man because of all the mismatches unless you have 2 safeties. Kelce's impossible against zone. Hill's impossible against man. It's not good. It's not good. But the biggest part of this game, because I do believe the coaching staff is informed at this point to run only two safeties to double guys. That's what we were doing in the second half, and it worked. So I believe we will do that. But the biggest key takeaway here is the pass rush of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The pass rush needs to be perfect. It needs to be excellent. It needs to hit Mahomes. We need to get pressure with 4. Only 4. I know it's a very basic analysis, but with Mahomes, especially if you look at his tape, the way teams have been able to beat him is pressure with 4. That's how the Raiders did it. That's how most teams, that's how you beat them, honestly. That's the only way to beat them. Getting pressure with 4 because he can see the blitzes and he'll torture blitzes. He'll torture disguises. He'll torch everything. But if you can just line up and play coverage and just get pressure with sending only 4 guys, meaning that you don't have a guy who would be in pass coverage now blitzing the quarterback, meaning you have less people in coverage in order to have more people blitzing the quarterback, that's key. That's key to be able to only rush with 4. And we kind of got that done in the second half against the Chiefs last time. We were stopping, we were getting some hits. We forced him into an interception once, and then he threw a dropped interception earlier in the game because of pressure and because of an inaccurate bad decision. And the Chiefs have three backup offensive linemen starting in this game. And they haven't even released at this point in the video, they haven't even released who their starting 5 offensive linemen are going to be yet. We don't even know. They have 3 backups. They're probably going to jumble the whole thing up. So we'll see how that goes. But I am, if we don't get pressure with 4, we will not win this football game. We need the pressure, and we're really lucky that both their tackles are missing because that's going to be key for Shaq Barrett and JPP. And then with Vita Vea back, this is huge, because he's going to be in the trenches. Hopefully, he draws a double block or 2. If we can get Shaq and JPP one-on-one with the Chiefs' backup tackles, that's what we need. And Vita Vea being back helps that because a lot of teams, double block Vita Vea because he's so big and powerful that you kind of have to do it. So that pressure is going to be key. And again, I've been seeing it all over everything. All the analysts are saying what I said pretty much last time. You cannot just only get pressure with Mahomes. If you just get pressure, it doesn't matter. You have to actually sack him. You actually have to hit him. If you're getting pressure and then you let him run around or backpedal and do his annoying thing, he will torch you every time. He's great outside the pocket. He's great backpedaling. He's great all the time. You actually have to hit him and sack him. Because look, when I say hit him, not after the play, no. Hit him as he's throwing the ball, right? So you maybe hit his arm or something, so then it causes an inaccurate pass. You need to be able to sack him. You have to get him to the ground. He's so hard to do it's hard to get him on the ground. That's gonna be tough, but that's the only way really that the Bucs have a realistic chance on defense to stop them. You call cover 2. You always have, you always have 2 safeties on the field that are playing semi-deep, and when you're a man, I would double team Kelsey and Tyreek, and you have to get pressure. It's kind of a simple video because I could get it super complicated into what the hell's going on here, but at the end of the day, it's really just those things. Everybody else is saying it too. This is what I saw on film, so that's what I'm going to say. The 2 safeties and pressure. That's at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. 2 safeties and pressure. And you just got to hope, because here's the thing too that's interesting. Mahomes is great. He's the best quarterback in the league. One of the best talents of all time. But it's interesting, he gives you a few mistakes every game. He'll throw a couple passes that you could intercept. And for the Bucs' sake, you have to intercept those passes. We had dropped one in the last game, and then we got him another time. So Mahomes should have had 2 picks, but we only ended up getting 1. And the Bucs have been great. That's pretty much how they've made their money this year. In the postseason this year, is they score off of turnovers, and that's going to be huge in this game if there are any from the Chiefs. And Mahomes will give you some. He does every game. It's kind of weird. He'll make a bad decision. He won't see a safety or something. The pick he threw to Sean Murphy-Bunting, I don't even understand why he threw that ball. It wasn't open at all. And if he does do that, and I think he will, maybe once. He might not, but I think he'll do it maybe once. You have to intercept it. You can't just do the whole thing where it goes through your hands, you drop it on the way down. You can't do that. You got to intercept it. And then offensively, you have to score off of that. You cannot just intercept it and go 3 and out, or get a couple first downs, punt, or even if you need to score. You need to score. Right? Not many field goals need to be taken in this game. It needs to be mostly scores. The only kicks I want to see are the extra point kicks. Right? That's as simple as it gets. JPP has had a great season. He needs to have a great game. So does Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea, and Ndamukong Suh. That's going to be key. That's going to be very, very key to this football game. And I'm nervous. I mean, the Chiefs, the starting Chiefs roster has lost one football game in the last calendar year. They've lost one football game. The record was 14-2 this year. Their second loss came the last week of the season when none of their starters were playing, so that doesn't count. And so that means just collectively as a football team this year, they've lost one game. This would be a ginormous upset if the Bucs won this game, like a humongous upset. It'd be historical. I would go crazy. You guys should go crazy if this happens. Again, I'm not going to predict this game because that's not what I do. I think predicting is kind of dumb. It's based off of just kind of guessing more than it is data. Because at the end of the day, you never know. Anything could happen on any given Sunday. I am very, very worried about this game. It's going to be very stressful. I'll be watching with a bunch of people. They're all going to be stressed out. We're all going to be stressed out. A lot of people are like, oh, you have a good time watching the game. I'm so happy for... Look, I mean, I'm going to be drinking my water. Like, it's going to be like this. I'm going to be, like, shaking the whole time. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. I just hope we can win. I mean, that would just be... I could not imagine what I would do if we won or what this town would do. It's a home Super Bowl. Everyone's going crazy here. The NFL experience is here. It's so much fun. They have literally videos. They have video projectors that are going up on buildings, and you can see Tom Brady and our whole football team. It's fun. It's fun to be here right now. And I'm going again today, actually. And I just really hope that, if we won, this town would erupt, right? I mean, we have a pirate ship in the middle of the bay, and it fires out, fireworks on Friday and Saturday and Sunday nights at the top of every hour at night. It's amazing. Chiefs fans love it here, obviously, because we're the best city of all time. And I just could not imagine if we won. I mean, the parades, the festive, it would be insane. I'm gonna have to stay for all of that. I'm not going back anytime soon. I would have to stay for all of that. And hopefully that is the case, so I can stay and have a good time here. Mahomes too. It's so weird how he effortlessly throws the ball. I mean, I remember just one play, the play that actually lost us the game, because it was like third and kind of long for the Chiefs. And if they didn't get the first down, they would have had a punt, and we were only down by a field goal. But if they got the first down, the game was over. And Mahomes rolls out to his left, and there's no one open. No one's open. We called a great play. Defensively, we had great coverage. And we got not really that good of pressure. Mahomes just backpedals, and he backpedals 15 yards. Then because if you give any quarterback that much, or any receivers that much time, they're going to get open. And then he just effortlessly throws the ball, and it's just the guy's open. I mean, I don't know how he has that kind of natural arm strength. I don't know if I know his dad was an MLB pitcher, but I don't know if it's genetics or if he just has been throwing a ball since he was like 2 or something. I don't know. I don't know how you could actually have an arm that strong. I mean, even at the NFL experience, they had a deep ball drill, and you get a real NFL-sized football, and you try to throw it into these baskets, and they have cutout defenders that are on top of the basket, so you have to actually throw it over them into the basket, right? And it was only a 30-yard throw, and for me, and really for anyone, even adults that are just sitting around there, it was still kind of, it was kind of hard, right? Kind of had to throw that a little far, and that's only 30 yards. I mean, he's doing this 50, 60-yard passes effortlessly. You're open, you're 60 yards down the field. 60 yards. I don't know. his mechanics are weird too. I mean, he throws, I think he used to be a shortstop, and that's, I think, where a lot of his sidearm passes come from, where he does this thing and that thing goes 50 yards. You're like, what? I don't understand. And then not only that, he's so good at reading defense. He's so good. He's so accurate too. Normally when you get those big arm guys, they're not very accurate. They just have their big arm. But he's so accurate. He's fast. He's elusive. He can understand defenses. And he's so accurate with the ball. It's frustrating. It really, really is frustrating because he's so good. And he's going to win more Super Bowls, I can tell you. Hopefully he doesn't win one on Sunday. But he will. This is not it for Mahomes. He'll keep coming back. He's that good. But just to stop him this one time, this one Super Bowl, we need 2 safeties. Double Hill and Kelce on man. I would rather, people are like, oh, well, if you do that, then Demarcus Robinson and Sammy Watkins. I would rather them beat us than Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, because Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce will beat you. Sammy Watkins and Demarcus Robinson could potentially beat you. And I can guarantee you that those guys will not score as many points, even if, we leave them all one-on-ones, we leave them all over there, and we do all that pretty much the whole time. They will not score as many points as Kelce and Hill would if it was them in a vice versa scenario. 100%. I do believe that. Also, the Bucs are good at man. They're not good in zone. We already know this. But the Bucs are going to have to run some zone. They're going to have to do it. The Chiefs are not as strong. They're strong, right? Offensively, they're almost perfect. They're not as strong in zone coverage. They do have a lot of zone beaters, and right, that's when Travis Kelce kind of kills you. That's when you're in zone. But you have to call some because, again, the mismatches on man coverage will kill you at some point in the game. So you have to call some zone, right? This isn't one of those ones where against the Saints, all man. If you're playing the Saints, you should go all man coverage. If you're playing, a team that really doesn't have like a fast like burner wide receiver, you go all man, right? Because especially with us, because we don't really know how to run zone that well. So, but in this game, unfortunately, you're going to be forced. It's just kind of like last game. You have to run some zone, got to run some man. Again, we're best at man, so even though that we should, statistically probably be running more zone than man, we still need to be running that man with the 2 safeties, the double coverage. That's just how it's going to be. I mean, I think it should go 65% man and then the rest zone, right? 35% zone. So that's what I think should happen. And the blitzes, here's the thing. Last time when we sent all those exotic blitzes that we normally send, they work against Rodgers. They don't really work against Mahomes. He picks it up very quickly. When we try to disguise, he just understands it, burns us. It's very annoying. So I honestly would say that playing more often than not, right? You don't just want to give away everything you're doing the whole game, but more often than not, I'd rather see them just sit back and play coverage, not be confusing, not send those weird, like, exotic blitzes because Mahomes picks up on them so quickly. So that I would say that's a big key to the game too. And yeah, so that's pretty much gonna be it for this one. And this is gonna be my last video before the Super Bowl. So it's been a long season, guys. It's been a long season. A lot of you guys, they watch every episode. I love you guys. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the season starts at, first weekend of September, and now we're all the way in February playing football still. And if you told me, well, the Bucs will be playing football in February this year, I would cry. I would not believe you. And but yet here we are. And at the end of the day, we're in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, even if we lose, right, it's still amazing. It's been an amazing season. I really hope we can win and capitalize on this opportunity. But with that, that's going to do it. That's going to do it, guys. And obviously, you guys are going to watch the game. So make sure to watch it just in case you consider not watching. You have to watch the game. It's going to be big. All my friends are in Tampa. We're all in Tampa. We're taking over, making sure we're running the Chiefs fans out of town. We're getting a travel ban on Kansas City. Obviously joking, but yeah, I'm nervous. I really hope they can win the Super Bowl this year. I would go insane. It would be crazy. I literally would consider buying a replica Lombardi trophy that's like $400. I would buy it. just because it would be so historical. I mean, I just couldn't not do it. So yeah, next time I see you guys, we will have known if the Bucs won the Super Bowl or not. So crazy, crazy, crazy. I will see you guys next time. And go Bucs, baby!